Do you dislike micromanaging? Do you hate when your allies don't join your wars? Do you desire to rule over many subjects like a real emperor, unlike the arrogant Austrians, all while remaining an OPM? Then this guide is for you. This strategy was inspired by Adventurer32, link in the description for his strategy video. But know that I have refined this strategy to perfection, which I will now present to you in its purest form. So, you want to be a puppet master, yes? That is nice, but how do you keep your vassals loyal? Ideas, policies, and personal unions, my friend. Let's discuss all the liberty desire modifiers first. First, development. The bigger the vassal, the bigger the desire. I think every development adds about 0.1% liberty desire, possibly with some administrative efficiency modifiers. Either way, it will be the biggest problem when expanding your territory, as you can only expand by feeding your vassals. 2. Marriage and dynasty. Marriages and dynasties and having the same dynasty on the throne both decrease liberty desire by 5%. 3. Opinion. Having a max opinion of, at the max opinion of plus 200, you get minus 50% liberty desire. 4. March. Each march, having a march decreases its liberty desire by 15%. Relative strength. This is also a very big factor. It is influenced by tech, manpower, standing army, and the force limit. The force limit is a surprisingly strong part of the calculation. This is especially good for us because it does not cost us money or manpower to have a big force limit. So the bigger the force limit, the lower the liberty desire. I just do not know by how much. 6. Ideas and policies. With these, you try to lower all the liberty desire as much as possible. Not just with directly decreasing liberty desire, you also want to stack vassal taxation modifiers and force limit modifiers. When you get taxation to high enough levels, your vassals will start paying you more than they make, effectively generating money out of thin air. And they won't have the money to build an army, decreasing liberty desire even further. 7. Developing subjects. Developing subjects is a surprisingly effective strategy. Since you will not be using a lot of monarch points yourself, you can use them here. Ideally, you should be developing administrative development, since you want to stack diplo and military development in your one province. This has good synergy with vassal taxation policies, because you will be gaining more money from developing your vassals than you would be by developing your own only province. 8. Reforms. Best reforms come from the monarchist tree. There you can get the right bonuses. 9. Diplomatic reputation also decreases liberty desire by 3 percentiles per point. Ideas and policies. Here is the best combination of ideas and policies to minimize liberty desire. If you do not have any DLC, or the DLCs that allow you to make your vassals fabricate claims using the I desire this land mechanic, then use this combination of ideas. If you do have it, I will discuss the correct ideas after this section. You should be taking ideas in this order: espionage for claims, influence for 25% vassal income, minus 15% liberty desire, plus 2 diplomatic reputation, and plus 100% vassal force limit contribution. Your third idea will be diplomatic for plus 2 diplomatic reputation and lowered impact on stability from diplomatic actions. This is important for the way we will be creating our personal unions. Your fourth idea will be the economic group, because it unlocks the administrative economic influence policy, which gives plus 25% income from vassals and plus 100% vassal force limit contribution. Your next idea will be offensive, which gives you plus 20% force limit. The next idea is administrative, which unlocks administrative and offensive policy, which gives plus 50% income from vassals. The next policy will be aristocratic, which unlocks the military aristocratic influence policy, which gives plus 100% force limit contribution. And your last idea will be the quality. Idea group will be quality, which unlocks the diplomatic quality influence policy, which gives additional plus 25% income from vassals, and also the quality diplomatic policy, which gives an additional plus 1 diplomatic reputation. This would make a total of 2 administrative policies, 2 diplomatic policies, and 1 military policy, for the total of minus 15% direct liberty desire, plus 125% income from vassals, plus 300% vassal force limit contribution, and plus 5 diplomatic reputation. When you get the imperialism CB, or you are able to get claims through other ways, the need for the espionage ideas will be gone. So then you will be able to replace it with the quantity idea to boost your force limit even higher. It will also give you access to the additional military quantity diplomatic policy, which gives you plus 1 diplomatic reputation. Government reforms. Here is not much to talk about. If you are a monarchy, you get a reform that increases your vassal income contribution by 25%. It is the second reform I think you can take. Otherwise, there isn't much to do. At least I don't know of anything, any other bonuses you could get. National ideas. The best nation to do this strategy with is Bosnia. They have plus 25% income from vassal, plus 100% force limit contribution, and plus 1 diplomatic relations. If you stack all of these modifiers, all of our modifiers, while playing as Bosnia, you get minus 15% liberty desire, 175% income from vassals, plus 400% vassal force limit contribution, and plus 6 diplomatic reputation. These numbers are absolutely insane. But not even they will be enough to keep your vassals loyal when expanding across the whole world. So now we will discuss more advanced strategies to deal with the bane of our existence, which is liberty desire. Personal unions. That is right. Personal unions will be your best friend. Why? Because they only take into account their own relative strength, not the relative strength of all other vassals in their liberty desire calculation. This means you can have an infinite amount of loyal PUs without them rebelling. Sadly, PUs are just so hard to get. Or are they? I will describe a strategy that will guarantee getting PUs. It's so effective, you will be able to mass produce them. First, find a dead nation with cores, take the cores in a war, release the nation as a vassal, wait 5 years until your truce with the vassal is up, place your local dynasty upon the throne, marry the vassal, release the vassal, claim the throne and declare war. Bam! Instant personal union. Luckily, we don't have to worry much about the stab hits due to our diplomatic ideas reducing the impact and because we have a lot of surplus admin points with this strategy. Just make sure you feed them a lot of land quickly, else you will inherit their lands after their ruler dies, ruining your OPM challenge. This happens because diplomatic reputation increases the inherit chance by 5%, additionally with stability increasing it by additional 3%. While every province a personal union has decreases the inherit chance by 1%. Developing your vassals. You might think, hey, won't developing my vassals make them stronger and harder to manage? Normally, you would be right, my fellow gamer. But let me present you the power of stacking modifiers. You see, normally, income from vassal taxation only comes from their tax income. Production and trade remain untouched. But we are not taking income directly from the provinces. We are taking it from his coffers. Meaning if we get this modifier high enough, we will be draining all of his money. Meaning he will not have money to build an army to rebel with. And he will be taking out loans, effectively generating money out of thin air for us. Let me give you an example. If I develop my land, I get plus 1 ducat. If I develop my vassal's land, he will get plus 1 ducat, but he will have to pay me 1.75 ducat. because of how much we are taxing him. This means I get more money by developing my subjects while weakening their armies because they pay me more. It also decreases their liberty desire because I develop their provinces. All at the same time. It's the perfect money scheme. This does not work on personal unions because they don't get taxed, but that is a good thing, as we will discuss in the next section. Specializing your vassals. Early on, before you get all of the bonuses and personal unions, you will only have a few normal vassals. They will give you money and will support you in wars. But that is not the most optimal way to use them. Let me explain. We will be using three kinds of vassals: trade vassals, tax vassals, and war PUs. Trade and tax vassals are very similar, and you can use them as one and the same in your game, or if you don't want to micro your trade vassals. Let's start with the most basic kind, tax vassal. Tax vassals are normal vassals, except they have enabled scutage for the huge bonus of plus 50% tax income. The fact that they will not help you in wars is not a problem, as they will not have any money for armies anyways. If you do not have the appropriate DLC that allows you to give them land, and you can't sell them land since they don't have any money, you might want to call them to your wars for the temporary cost of plus 30% liberty desire to expand their territory. They should be weak enough for that to not matter. You would also want to enable divert trade if you can, but that is not crucial. The trade vassal. You will give every center of trade to these guys and enable divert trade. This will allow you to get most of the trade power in every node without having to incur the divert trade penalty on your normal tax vassals. It is better to use them along the coast, because coring range can cause problems when trying to expand them into landlocked provinces. If these guys look like Venice or Genoa, you are doing your job well. You should also put them on scutage when you are not planning on expanding their lands. The personal union war vassals. These guys will be your main attacking force late in the game. They can't be taxed, so they will have money to build armies, unlike your other vassals. They also only count their own relative strength without counting any other vassals or personal unions, meaning they can be quite strong and big before becoming rebellious. Don't use marches. They are not worth it, because they still take into account the subject's development. They will also be too big to get any bonuses. Last, OPM tips. Here are some tips and problems that I came across when playing as an OPM. I hope they will help you in your games. 1. Your manpower will be low, and you will probably never reach your force limit, but you have a lot of money. Make sure you are always buying troops, so you are always generating more manpower. Use a lot of cannons with mercenary support. 2. You are an OPM. Obvious, right? Not really. When you are at war, you are surrounded by vassals, so you are safe, right? No. The problem is their fort layout might not be optimal, thus allowing the enemy to place himself right on your singular province, and that is the moment you realize the true weakness of being an OPM, lack of strategic depth. You have only one province, meaning that is the only place you can build normal units from. It will take a long time to replace your army after a stack wipe. If the enemy manages to get your province, you will also lose all your natural income and will have to rely solely on your vassals, which you should be doing anyways, but it still hurts a lot. Do not get stack wiped. 3. Only develop manpower and production in your province. Manpower is the most needed resource, and production is the most effective way to boost your income. Develop tax only in your vassals to keep them loyal. It will boost your income more too. Remember? You do not get any income from your vassals' production. Don't waste your diplo points on developing your vassals. And that is all. I hope you will use this strategy wisely and make Ulm proud. Veritas vincit!